Win the battle of perseverance. Listen to me carefully. There is a war raging inside you, a war between the part of you that wants to quit at the first sign of struggle and the part of you that knows you were born to endure. The battle of perseverance is not fought once, but every single day. It's there when you wake up and don't feel like moving. It's there when your dreams seem so far away, they may as well be on another planet. It's there when failure slams the door in your face and mocks you with its finality. But failure is not final. It is formative. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times to invent the light bulb, but he refused to call it failure. He called it education. When a reporter asked him why he kept going despite failing so much, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That is perseverance. That is the mindset that forges greatness. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lack stamina. The willingness to stand back up when the world knocks them down. The grit to crawl when they can't walk. To walk when they can't run. To keep moving forward no matter how small the step. You see, perseverance is not the roar of the lion. It is the stubborn heartbeat that refuses to stop. It's the voice in your head that says just one more time, when every bone in your body is screaming no more. It's easy to be motivated when life is going well. When the money is flowing, the relationships are strong, the path is clear, but true character is forged in adversity. When the night is darkest and hope is nowhere to be found, that is when you discover who you really are. Andrew Carnegie was a poor Scottish immigrant working in a cotton factory for $1.20 a week, but he refused to accept that fate as final. He persevered, working harder than anyone else. Learning, watching, and waiting for opportunity. He became one of the wealthiest men in history, not because of luck, but because he would not stop. Perseverance is the great equalizer. It doesn't care where you were born, who your parents were, how much money you have, or what you look like. It rewards the relentless. It favors those who keep showing up long after everyone else has gone home. You want to win the battle of perseverance? Then you must adopt a new relationship with pain. Most people run from pain. They see struggle as something to be avoided at all costs, but you must learn to see it as your ally. Pain is the compass that points to growth. It is the crucible in which your character is purified, the fire that burns away your weakness and reveals your strength. When Henry Ford was building his company, he faced bankruptcy multiple times. His investors called him a fool. Competitors mocked his vision of putting the world on wheels. But Ford didn't quit. He kept refining, kept pushing, kept believing when no one else did. Today his name is synonymous with innovation, not because he was smarter than everyone else, but because he refused to surrender. This is what I want you to understand. The difference between success and failure is not brilliance. It is resilience. It is the stubborn refusal to lay down and die when life says you should. You must choose to be unbreakable, not because you are made of steel, but because you know you can be reforged. You will break. Yes, you will fall. You will fail. That is inevitable. But you will rise again. And each time you do, you will be stronger, wiser, more prepared. This is the law of perseverance. Those who keep going win. Those who stop lose. It's as simple as that. But let's go deeper. Perseverance is not simply mindless repetition. It is sustained, intelligent effort. It means learning from your mistakes, adjusting your strategy, refining your vision. It is not banging your head against the same wall forever. It is finding the door that no one else sees. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper because he lacked imagination. He tried to start companies that went bankrupt. He was told over and over that no one would want to watch an animated feature film. But he didn't quit. He believed in his vision when no one else did. And today his name is a monument to the power of perseverance. You must decide now. Will you be the person who stops at the first obstacle? Or will you be the person who sees obstacles as invitations to greatness? Your mindset is the battlefield. The enemy is within. It is your doubt, your fear, your exhaustion. It is the voice that says it's too hard. It's not worth it. Who do you think you are? That voice will not go away, but you can choose to ignore it. You can choose to act in spite of it, because action is the antidote to fear. Movement is the cure for stagnation. When you feel like giving up, take one more step. When you're exhausted, do one more rep. When you're hopeless, try one more time. That is how mountains are moved, not in one grand push, but in millions of small, determined shoves. You are not weak for wanting to quit. That is human. You are strong when you decide to keep going anyway. Abraham Lincoln lost election after election. He failed in business. He suffered devastating personal losses, but he refused to quit. He refused to let defeat define him, and he became one of the greatest leaders in history. What if he had given up after that first loss, or the second, or the third? The world would be a different place. His perseverance shaped history itself. Your perseverance can shape your history. It can transform your family's story. It can change your destiny. But only if you decide that quitting is not an option. So ask yourself now, what do you truly want? What dream burns in you so deeply that you would suffer for it? Because if you're not willing to suffer for it, you don't really want it. You want the fantasy of success, not the reality. The reality is sacrifice. The reality is struggle. The reality is falling down 100 times and getting up 101. But that is the price, and it is worth it. Because on the other side of that pain is freedom. Freedom to become who you were always meant to be. Freedom to live life on your terms. Freedom to look back at your journey and say, I did not give up. This world respects perseverance more than talent. It admires those who refuse to yield, because in them we see the best of ourselves. We see hope. We see possibility. So make the decision now, in this moment. Plant your flag in the soil of your soul and say, I will not quit. I will endure. I will win the battle of perseverance. Listen to me carefully, because this is where most people turn back. This is the moment when the comfort of mediocrity calls out to you, promising safety, ease, relief from the grind. It whispers that maybe you're not cut out for this, that maybe you should lower your sights, settle for less, make peace with the ordinary. But you weren't born for the ordinary. You weren't put on this earth to live and die unnoticed, to let your gifts wither in the soil of fear. You have greatness in you. I'm not saying that to flatter you. I'm telling you a truth that's been proven by every man and woman who ever achieved anything worthwhile. Greatness is not inherited. It is built, brick by brick, choice by choice, day by day. It is forged in the relentless fires of effort. Do you think Nelson Mandela found it easy to spend 27 years in prison? Do you think he woke up every morning in that tiny cell smiling? No, but he held on to his vision of freedom for his people. He refused to surrender his spirit to the oppressor. His body was in chains, but his will was unbreakable. That is perseverance. That is what changes the world. If you want to change your world, you must learn to endure. Because make no mistake, the world will test you. It will ask, how badly do you want it? And then it will make you prove it. You will be betrayed. You will be ridiculed. You will fail, sometimes publicly. You will lose friends. You will lose money. You will doubt yourself so deeply you can't sleep at night. And in those moments, the weak will quit. The average will find excuses. But the committed, they will keep going, and they will win. I want you to remember this. The universe does not give you what you want. It gives you what you demand of yourself. You want success? Demand your best, every day. No matter how you feel, no matter what happened yesterday, no matter what anyone else says. You want love? Demand honesty, vulnerability, courage in your relationships. You want wealth? Demand value from yourself. Become so good they can't ignore you. You want peace? Demand discipline over your mind, refusing to let it dwell on the past or obsess about the future. This is the price of perseverance, radical responsibility. You stop blaming. You stop complaining. You stop waiting for someone to rescue you. You understand that your life is yours to build. And when you understand that, you become dangerous. Because nothing can stop the person who will not be stopped. History proves this over and over. Frederick Douglass was born a slave. taught himself to read in secret, escaped, and became one of the greatest orators and abolitionists in American history. His entire life was an act of perseverance against a system designed to crush him. Harriet Tubman risked her life over and over to lead others to freedom on the Underground Railroad. She didn't do it once. She did it more than a dozen times. She didn't let fear stop her. She didn't let fatigue stop her. You see, perseverance is not about you alone. When you persist, you create possibility for others. You become an example, a light in the darkness. Your children are watching. Your friends are watching. The world is watching. And when they see you refuse to give up, they start to wonder if they too can rise. This is your responsibility, to show what's possible. But understand this. Perseverance is not about endless suffering with no strategy. It is not about martyrdom for its own sake. It is about staying the course while adapting the method. Thomas Edison didn't repeat the exact same failed experiment 10,000 times. He learned something every time. He adjusted. He innovated. So must you. Perseverance is intelligent. It studies. It adapts. It evolves. When your plan fails, you don't abandon the goal. You change the plan. When the door is locked, you don't sit outside crying. You find a window. You build a new door. You dig under the wall. That is perseverance. Not blind repetition, but relentless creativity in pursuit of a worthy aim. And that's the other key. You must know what you are persevering for. Clarity of purpose is the fuel that drives you forward when you're exhausted. Vague dreams won't get you through the dark nights. You need a vision so clear, so compelling, that it sets your soul on fire. Steve Jobs once said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." But it's not enough to think you can change the world. You must work every single day to do it, even when no one believes, even when no one is watching. Your vision must be so strong that it overrides your excuses. Because the truth is, you will always have reasons to quit. You will be tired. You will be broke. You will be scared. You will be heartbroken. You will feel like a fraud. You will wonder if it's all worth it. And in those moments, your mind will try to seduce you with comforting lies. That's enough. You've tried hard enough. People like you don't make it. No one cares anyway. Ignore those lies. They are the last line of defense for the life you are leaving behind. Because make no mistake, when you choose to persevere, you are killing your old self, the self who made excuses, the self who blamed others, the self who settled, the self who quit. You are burying that version of you so that something stronger can be born. Growth is death and rebirth. It is painful. It is ugly. It is necessary. The caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly by putting on wings. It dissolves inside a cocoon, breaking down entirely before reforming as something new. You want transformation? Then embrace the dissolution. Let go of what you were so you can become what you must be. Perseverance is not just about achieving goals. It is about becoming the person who is worthy of them. The person who can handle wealth without losing integrity. The person who can lead without becoming arrogant. The person who can love without conditions. The person who can suffer without becoming bitter. That is what the struggle is forging in you. Do you understand now why you must not quit? Because if you quit, you don't just lose the dream. You lose the person you could have become. The price of quitting is your potential, and that price is too high. So promise me this, that no matter what happens, you will keep going. Promise yourself that you will stay in the fight, not because it is easy, but because it is worth it, because your children deserve to see what perseverance looks like, because your community needs your gifts, because the world needs more people who refuse to give up. You don't know who you're inspiring by refusing to quit. You don't know who is watching you and deciding not to give up because you didn't. This is bigger than you. This is bigger than you, because perseverance is contagious. It's the quiet revolution that changes families, communities, nations. Look at history. Every movement that changed the world was built on the backs of those who refused to quit. Civil rights didn't advance because it was convenient. It advanced because men and women sat at counters where they weren't wanted, marched across bridges while being beaten, stood in courtrooms, demanding justice while knowing the odds were stacked against them. Martin Luther King Jr. knew the risks. He knew the threats. He felt the exhaustion. And yet he said, "If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward." That is the spirit I'm calling you to. No grand gestures necessary. No need for headlines or applause. Just the stubborn, unbreakable will to keep moving forward, even when no one sees. Especially then. Because that is when character is formed. It is easy to play the hero on a stage. It is much harder to live heroically in silence. To wake up before dawn to build your dream, when no one is cheering you on. To say no to temptations that promise short-term relief but long-term regret. That is the true battle. You want to win the battle of perseverance? Then master yourself. Your greatest enemy is not out there. It's in here. It's the voice that says just this once. It's the urge to hit snooze. It's the desire to numb your pain instead of face it. It's the belief that you're not enough. Win that battle, and the rest falls into place. Do you know why so few truly succeed? Because most people negotiate with their excuses. They say, "I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start when I feel ready. I'll try until it gets hard." Winners don't negotiate with their excuses. They silence them. They replace them with non-negotiable standards. I train, I study, I show up, no matter what. That is the code you must live by, because you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. If your system is built on comfort, you will never grow. If your system is built on discipline, you will. This is not glamorous. It's not sexy. It's not what social media sells you. It is daily, unrelenting work. It is waking up when you don't want to. It is saying no to distractions. It is choosing effort over ease, growth over comfort, vision over indulgence. And the reward? Freedom. Not the fake freedom of doing whatever you want, whenever you want. That's slavery to impulse. True freedom is the power to do what you must, the freedom to choose the hard path, because you know it leads somewhere worth going. This is what perseverance buys you. Freedom from regret. One day you will be old. You will look back on your life, and you will ask, "Did I do what I came here to do?" And in that moment, your excuses will not comfort you. Your failures will not console you. Only your effort will matter. Only your perseverance will count. Will you be able to say, "I gave everything I had," or will you have to admit, "I quit too soon"? Don't let that be your story. The graveyard is full of dreams that died because someone gave up too soon, full of songs never sung, books never written, businesses never built, love never shared, change never made. Don't add your dream to that silent cemetery. It deserves to live, but it will not live on wishful thinking. It will live only if you feed it with your effort, your commitment, your sacrifice, your refusal to quit. Because the truth is, you will fail along the way. Let me be clear about this. You will fail, not once, not twice, but many times. If you're not failing, you're not trying. If you're not failing, you're not pushing your limits. Failure is not the enemy. Failure is the instructor. Embrace it, study it, learn from it. Thomas Watson Sr., the former CEO of IBM, said it best. If you want to increase your success rate, double your failure rate. Let that sink in. Most people avoid failure like the plague. They tiptoe through life, trying not to make mistakes. But in doing so, they avoid life itself. Life is messy. It is uncertain. It is risky. That is what makes it worth living. If you want guarantees, you'll have to settle for mediocrity. If you want greatness, you must learn to fail forward. That is what perseverance is, failing forward. Not letting failure stop you, but letting it shape you. Not seeing it as proof you can't, but as evidence you're learning how. Look at every successful person, and you'll find a trail of failures behind them. You'll find rejection letters, bankruptcies, heartbreaks, humiliations. But you know what you won't find? Quitting. Because they refused to let failure be the final chapter. They understood that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. So the next time you fail, don't ask, why me? Ask, what can I learn? Don't say I'm done. Say I'm not done yet. That's the mindset. That's the weapon. Because in the battle of perseverance, mindset is everything. Your mind will try to sabotage you. It will tell you stories of limitation. It will dredge up your past. It will magnify your fears. But you are not your mind. You are its master. Train it, discipline it, lead it, feed it with books, mentors, experiences that stretch you. Starve it of negativity, gossip, complaints. Guard it like a fortress. Because what you let in will shape what comes out. Think of your mind as a garden. If you do not deliberately plant the seeds you want, weeds will grow automatically. Most people let weeds take over. Fear, doubt, cynicism. But you will be different. You will plant resilience, courage, faith, vision. And you will water them daily with action, because action is the proof of belief. Anyone can say they believe, but only the committed back it up with consistent, disciplined action. You can tell me you want it, but show me your calendar. Show me your daily habits. Show me your willingness to suffer for it. That's the truth. You don't get what you want. You get what you are willing to endure for. You get what you are willing to endure for. Because every dream exacts a price. There is no shortcut, no hack, no effortless path. The universe does not hand out rewards for wishful thinking. It demands proof of commitment. It wants to see if you will keep moving when the lights go out, when no one is applauding, when your friends don't understand, when you're broke, tired, and alone with your doubts. That is the test, and most people fail it. They start strong but finish weak. They love beginnings, the excitement, the novelty. But when the grind sets in, when the shine wears off, they vanish, because they never understood that the middle is where dreams die. The middle, where the work is boring, where progress is invisible, where there is no applause, that is where you must endure. If you can win in the middle, you can win anywhere. Perseverance is not about dramatic gestures. It's about showing up every single day. It's about doing what you said you would do, long after the mood you set it in has left you. It's about falling in love with the process, because the process is all there is. You don't control results. You don't control timing. You control effort. You control focus. You control attitude. This is why perseverance is so powerful. It's the ultimate commitment to the process, to growth, to becoming. You see, most people think they want success, but what they really want is comfort with the illusion of success. They want the rewards without the sacrifice, the praise without the work, the result without the risk. But life doesn't work that way. Life demands payment in advance. You pay with effort, with sacrifice, with time you will never get back. But here's the secret. The price is always worth it, because what you get in return is not just the dream. It's who you become chasing it. The strength, the wisdom, the resilience, the self-respect that comes from knowing you didn't quit. That can never be taken from you. Your house can burn down. Your business can fail. Your relationships can end. But your character remains. Your perseverance is yours forever. It's the one thing no one can steal, and it will serve you in every area of life, because life will not spare you suffering. You will face loss. You will face betrayal. You will face illness. You will face death. These are non-negotiable truths of being alive. Perseverance is your armor against them. It doesn't mean you won't feel pain. It means you won't let pain destroy you. It means you'll keep going with tears in your eyes. You'll keep loving even after heartbreak. You'll keep building even after loss. You'll keep hoping even after disappointment. That is true strength. That is real power. Because anyone can smile when the sun is shining. But the ones who keep going in the storm, they are the ones who change the world. They are the ones who inspire generations. They are the ones who leave legacies. You want to know why so many people feel empty? It's not because they failed. It's because they quit on themselves. They settled. They stopped believing. They chose comfort over calling. And so they live with quiet regret. Don't do that to yourself. Don't let fear write your story. Don't let failure be your final word. When you feel like quitting, remember why you started. Remember the hunger that lit the fire in you. Revisit the vision that made your heart race. Reconnect with the person you promised you would become. And then take one more step. That's all it takes. You don't have to figure it all out today. You don't have to see the whole path. You just have to keep going. One more rep, one more call, one more page, one more hour of practice, one more attempt after failure. Because there is magic in one more. That is how empires are built, how masterpieces are written, how records are broken, how lives are changed. One more, again and again, until one day you wake up and realize you crossed the finish line. Not because you were the fastest, not because you were the smartest, but because you refused to stop. That is the battle of perseverance. It is not fought once, it is fought every day. In the quiet moments no one sees, in the doubts no one hears, in the tears you wipe away alone. But victory is cumulative. Each time you choose to keep going, you build momentum. You strengthen your will. You become the kind of person who finishes what they start. And that is rare. That is valuable. Because in a world addicted to shortcuts, perseverance is priceless. It is the ultimate competitive advantage. While others burn out, you endure. While others get distracted, you focus. While others quit, you finish. And so you win. Not because it was easy, but because you were willing to do what was hard. You see, life is always asking you one question. How badly do you want it? And your answer is not in your words. It is in your actions, your habits, your sacrifices, your consistency. You can't lie to life. You can't cheat the grind. It knows. It keeps perfect score. And it always pays in full. If you give little, you get little. If you give everything, you get everything. So decide now. Will you be remembered as the one who almost did or the one who always did? Will your story be one of excuses or one of endurance, of regret, or of resilience? Because the choice is yours and the time is now. No more waiting, no more hoping, no more dreaming without doing. Commit, act, endure. Because in the end, perseverance is not just about winning. It's about honoring the gift of life itself. It's about showing gratitude for the breath in your lungs by using it to speak your truth, for the strength in your body by using it to build, for the time you're given by refusing to waste it. It's about living fully, bravely, relentlessly, so that when you reach your final day, you can close your eyes with peace, knowing you did not quit, knowing you held nothing back, knowing you won the battle of perseverance, knowing you won the battle of perseverance, because that is the only victory that truly matters. The victory over yourself, over your fear, over your weakness, over your doubt, over the part of you that says enough when there is still more to give. That is the battle you fight every day. You wake up with a dream in your heart. And hear me now. You don't need permission to fight it. You don't need anyone's approval. You don't need the world to believe in you before you take action. Most people wait for permission. They wait for the perfect time. They wait for validation, and they die waiting. While the clock runs out, while their dreams rot inside them. You were not born to wait. You were born to act, to create, to build, to move. Do you think Alexander Graham Bell waited for permission before inventing the telephone? Do you think the Wright brothers waited for a guarantee of success before launching their fragile plane into the sky? No. They risked ridicule. They risked failure. They risked everything because they believed in what they were doing. They believed in themselves when no one else did. That is what you must do. You must become your own source of validation, your own source of belief, your own source of momentum, Because no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to push you. No one is coming to make you do the work. This is your responsibility, your burden, your privilege, because that's the truth of it. Perseverance is a privilege. It is the rare opportunity to keep going when others have stopped, to keep building when others have given up, to keep believing when others have lost faith. And in that persistence, you will discover a power you didn't know you had, a power most people never find, because they don't stay in the fight long enough to find it. Most people treat effort like a light switch, on when it's easy, off when it's hard. But you must be the furnace, always burning, always producing heat, no matter how cold the world gets. This is not about motivation. Motivation is fickle. It rises and falls with your mood. Discipline is what matters. Discipline is the choice to act, regardless of how you feel. It is showing up when you're sick, when you're tired, when you're uninspired, when you're heartbroken, because the mission matters more than your mood. That is perseverance. It is not the roar of victory. It is the quiet, steady drumbeat of consistency. It is the silent promise you make to yourself. I will not stop. I will not yield. I will not break. No matter how many times I fall, no matter how many times I fail, no matter how many people tell me I can't, I will keep going, because I know who I am, because I know what I want, because I refuse to live with regret. You see, regret is the real enemy, not failure. Failure is temporary. Regret is forever. Failure teaches. Regret torments. Failure says, try again. Regret says, it's too late. Which voice will you listen to? Which path will you choose? Because make no mistake, you are choosing every day. Every time you hit snooze instead of getting up to work on your dream. Every time you procrastinate instead of executing. Every time you give in to fear instead of taking the leap, you are choosing regret. But you can choose differently. You can choose to pay the price now so you don't pay it forever, because the price of perseverance is hard, but the price of regret is unbearable. So embrace the struggle. Fall in love with it, not because you enjoy suffering for its own sake, but because you understand it's the gateway. It's the only way. There is no other route to greatness. None. You can read every book, hire every coach, buy every program. But if you don't do the work when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's painful, you will fail, and you will deserve to fail, because you refused the price. But if you pay it every day, no one can take that from you. No one can deny you the rewards that come to the persistent. Not luck, not circumstances, not even your own past, because your past is not your prison. Your past is your raw material. It's the clay you shape with your effort, your perseverance, your refusal to quit. That is what transforms failure into wisdom, pain into strength, fear into courage. So don't hate your struggles. Bless them, because they are the furnace that forges you. No pressure, no diamond, no friction, no polish, no adversity, no strength. This is the universal law, the ancient truth, written in every culture, spoken by every wise teacher, tested in every human life. And now it's your turn to decide. Will you be one of the few, one of the rare souls who refuse to quit, or will you be like the rest, full of excuses, full of stories about why it didn't work, full of regret? The choice is yours. It has always been yours. It will always be yours, and you must choose daily, because perseverance is not a one-time vow. It's not a promise you make once and never revisit. It's a daily commitment. Every morning you wake up and say, today, I will not quit. Today, I will do the work. Today, I will honor my dream. Not because it's easy, not because I feel like it, but because it is who I am, because it is what I do, because I refuse to betray myself. That is what you must decide. That is the standard you must set. Not for them, not for the world, for you, for the person you see in the mirror, for the child you once were, who dared to dream, for the future you who will thank you for not quitting. So decide, right now, that you will win the battle of perseverance, not once, not sometimes, but every single day.